So they're a little bit late coming out of their abatement meeting, so we will be starting in as soon as they tell us we're starting.
Okay, sounds good.
Roger, we're starting just a little bit late as we wait for the abatement hearing to end.
What'd you say?
Now click view or click this and make it bigger. Okay, your camera's not on. I don't know why. Yeah. There you go. And they might not have started with you.
Hey, Roger, we're here.
Okay,
We're here, but we're just waiting for the select board to start.
I tried that. That's too black.
trying to figure out how to get this to work. And it's always a,
Got it?
yep.
Little update that we, little update that we are still waiting for the deliberative session from the 6 p.m. abatement hearing to finish. So we will be starting whenever they tell us we're starting.
Okay,
Thank you.
I get it. I snowblowed the first part of the storm. And just as I was finishing, the auger cable broke. I'm snowblowing. So I didn't have time to deal with it. I stuck it in the garage and hoped like hell I didn't have to shovel the whole thing the next day.
Okay, we ready to?
Whenever you are.
Recording in progress.
It is 7:24 and we will call the meeting to order. We apologize for the delay in getting the meeting started. We had a board of abatement that went over time on complicated discussions, so that's why we are a little late. Anyway, the first item on the agenda is public comment. If there's anyone in the room or on the Zoom call that would like to weigh in on anything not already on the agenda, now's your time.
Maybe Roger.
Roger, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes,
There you go. Now we can hear you.
yeah. No matter how many times I do this, I still have difficulties with it. I guess I'm just not in the mix. We had a garden meeting tonight and we were wondering if the town road crew or equipment would be available to do some digging at the gardens and then hauling some compost from the Bennington transfer station to the gardens. Would be sometime probably April, mid-April, late April.
Well,
And we
Mark
don't,
just happens to be in the room, so we can ask him directly.
and I don't need an answer tonight, just sometime. And because I understand you have a schedule that you have to work with and you know, we understand that.
Yeah, understood. Mark, what are your thoughts?
I just wondered, Roger, how many loads of compost do you need?
It looks like about 30 yards.
3 loads.
Three of them, yeah.
Three loads.
And that's how much material we'll probably take out from the yellow barn and put that back in, or?
Well, what we're looking at is the area that we had covered with black plastic, which is 1,000 square feet.
Okay,
We would like that all pushed so there's a berm around the outside and then a layer of compost put into that. And then we would be putting it into the rows where we would plant in the garden itself. So in theory, it could all be dumped in that 1,000 square feet area. And then we could haul it from there with our own equipment to spread it into the rows. There you are.
yep, no problem. We can make that work.
Would that be something that the boys might be able to do while you're away? Because you're gonna be away at some point, aren't
I'll
you?
be back on the 15th, I come home on the 15th.
Of April?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, Roger, I'll be away on vacation from the 5th of April to the 15th.
Okay,
So after the 15th, just give me a buzz.
all right.
We'll go from there and we'll figure out, as long as the world hasn't come to an end, with the roads, we should have no problem. Mud season's been good to us, so we should be able to fix that up.
Okay. Very good. The other thing I wanted to comment on, we've had some of the beekeepers from Bennington come up and look at the properties to try to determine the best spot for our beehives. And they came up with an area that would be right out in the middle of the field, about even where the woods break to the west. So
That's
that,
a perfect spot. I'll
So it
chime
would be-
in. Let's
it
take
would
out
be-
the floodplain.
yeah,
In the
it would be out in the middle, it would be up high.
Where the trees are in the parking.
and-
Right on.
No,
Yeah.
out, toward, up in the field.
Towards the Christmas
Yeah.
trees.
Toward the Christmas tree, like halfway up.
About halfway up the
Mhm.
field.
Okay, but
Yeah.
doesn't that present an issue in terms of you'd have to be mowing around them?
We only mow it like once a year, or like a couple times a year.
I
We-
wouldn't want the bees to be out in the middle of the field with no shade. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, I mean.
No, but we- if we need to shade them, we could create shade for them. But bees live, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, they have bees in those areas all
Yeah,
the
those are
time.
different bees. Those are different bees. These are our
No,
bees. I
right,
think
but
they need shade.
bees have been hybrid enough. And like I say, this is a group of beekeepers out of Bennington who recommended that spot. If it does get too hot, we can shade them. But it's more likely that they will need the warmth of the sun so that's why they said away from the woods.
Well, my understanding is the best thing is to be definitely south facing, but with a line of trees so that there's some shade. I have some beehives if you want extra beehives, I have some beehives. I did keep bees. So, it's your business, they're your bees. I don't think that's going against everything that I learned about it for them to have no shade. So I would recommend that you put up some kind of shade, not wait for there to be a problem, but put up some kind of shade, but it's your business.
Yep, we can, and we have discussed that. If you would like to donate any extra equipment you have, we would appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. I would love to
Okay.
do that. I will do an inventory. What's your phone number, Roger?
Let's not put that on the record. but
Okay,
I
okay,
do have
I'll
it.
get your phone number. I'll get your phone
I
number.
have it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah,
Yeah, Nick has the number.
okay.
Good.
excellent.
All right.
Um,
Anything else?
something else came to mind and I lost it.
Well, if you think of it, text me and we'll get it on an agenda if relevant, or I'll circulate.
Well, I think it was just a comment. But it just.
Stay on the
oh,
call. If
I-
you think of it,
no,
raise your hand.
I remember what it was. We would like to plant wildflowers in a lot of the field and was wondering if the mowing could be delayed until after the first frost.
That's fine with me.
My understanding that if you're not haying, if you're just mowing, to keep it clear, delaying the mowing is better for all the wildlife that use the
Absolutely.
field. So if you're gonna plant wildflowers, just wait until September to mow, and then all the birds, everything's
works.
finished.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with
Mid-September.
that. We just need to be sure that
Yep.
the highway department doesn't, get ahead of themselves, if they know we want them to
That would,
delay.
it would be Willie.
Or is it gonna be
wheelhouse.
Willie? We have
I'll
to
let
let
Willie
Willie
know,
know. Okay.
and Willie will say, this is awesome, I don't have to mow until
That's right,
September.
because then
Yeah.
he'll be
Yeah.
finished with the golf course by the time he has to mow the yard
Perfect.
barn.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic to have wildflowers, and the
That would be
bees
good.
will like it as well.
Thank you.
okay, thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
your
you,
time.
Roger. All right, next item on the agenda is the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then let's do the minutes of the special meeting.
Any opposed? Okay, now, we need to approve the minutes of the special meeting last week.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting, 3/18.
Second. Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Jamie to approve the special meeting minutes of 3/18. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, under new businesses, we have a number of little things to go through, so. First, the liquor licenses. And there's two separate ones. One's a tobacco license, one's a liquor license. For liquor licenses for Bonnie and Clyde's, and the tobacco licenses for Karen Clean. So two
Okay.
separate motions and verbal authorization.
I make a motion to approve a second class liquor license.
Liquor license.
Okay, for Bonnie and Clyde Corner Market. That's it.
Okay. Second. Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to approve a second class liquor license for Bonnie and Clyde's. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a tobacco license for Chem Clean Center LLC.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to approve a tobacco license for Chem Clean Center. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is slate of appointments and reappointments, and several of them are gonna be on a list that Nick is gonna put up on the board, and then there's 3 individual ones that need to be done separately.
If you want to start with the individual dwelling
Okay.
appointments.
The 3 set, and these have to be done individually. So, I'll make the motion for the first, or Jim Blankenship for the CUD.
And that one has special notes in it, or a resolution for that one.
Does that need to be read in?
No, we'll just get into the minutes.
Let me just read through this whole first paragraph then.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. The following residents of the town of Arlington are hereby appointed to the governing board of the Southern Vermont Communications Union District for terms of 1 year each, or until the town shall notify the governing board in writing of the revocation of such appointments, the substitution of replacement appointees, the resignation of a delegate, or withdrawal of the town of the district. Cynthia Browning, Jamie Foxton, and Nick Zias. Adopted at a regular meeting of the select board of the town of Arlington, duly held the 25th day of March, 2024.
Is there a motion to approve the slate of officers as presented?
I make a motion to approve the slate of officers presented.
Is there a second?
Can I second?
Sure.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, now I'm confused about the health officer
It's
thing.
deputy town health officer. It's just the deputy.
The deputy.
Dan was reappointed last year.
Okay,
I'm not up for reappointment this
Okay.
year.
I make a motion to reappoint Nicholas Zias as the deputy town health officer.
Second.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to reappoint town administrator Zias as the deputy town health officer. Discussion.
It's possible that I should say that we're just recommending it because the state actually appoints.
Recommend.
So I would like to amend my motion to
Recommend
say
for
that
appointment.
we are recommending for appointment. If kind of.
And that's for a 3-year term.
I can't tell.
Yeah, 3-year term
Yeah.
ending 3/31/27.
So, motion's made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to, recommend appointment of town administrator Zias to the deputy health officer position. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any more of those?
No, those,
Okay.
and then we have the
So
slate
you
of
can
officers.
bring up the slate of officers.
So, but yes, slate of officers as presented, which includes tree award and land use administrator, planning seats, including a new reappointment, bringing back Charles Moore as an alternate to the planning commission. And then adding emergency management coordinators, Vince Thompson and Jamie Postian. And then appointing myself as regional emergency management committee rep. Those are the new ones. Everything else is a reappointment.
The ones with asterisks are new.
Yeah, the ones with asterisks are new.
I make a motion to approve of the slate of
Officials.
appointments and officials as presented.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Jamie to approve the slate of appointments, and as presented, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Okay.
We have, the next item is the annual contract that we do with Cambridge for.
No, emergency management plan.
Oh.
This is next on the
Okay.
agenda is this one.
That one.
Cambridge.
I was one ahead of myself. Sorry about
No,
that.
no problem. There's a lot of paper on the table. Oh my gosh.
Yes, trying not to get it all confused. So the local emergency management, plan for the municipality is adopted, or is to be adopted.
By May 1st each year.
Yes,
So
so the emergency management EMD, what?
emergency management director is myself,
Director.
and
Is Nick.
then we just appointed Jamie as emergency management coordinator, which is the deputy in that space.
Yep,
And that reflects, that was written as if that appointment was already ready. So that reflects all the appointments that were just made, including. the
and
contact
I'm
info.
in third position on that.
Yes, so you're the alternate contact.
Yep.
What am I doing?
A motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve
the
that.
To adopt
local
it.
Adopt the local.
I make a motion to approve and adopt the local emergency management plan as presented on the municipal adoption form.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to approve the local emergency management plan and re-adopt the same. All those in favor signify by saying
I
aye.
got
Yes, Tom.
just a couple name
Yeah.
differences. Sarah Merrill is no longer Sarah Merrill.
Oh,
She is back to Pickering
Okay, I will,
under Arlington High School.
yep, I will get that.
I had seen another one. Where was it?
Mm,
There's another name change that I had seen too.
Oh, that's deeper in there, huh?
I don't see the other one now.
Oh, it was the same thing.
She was in there twice, or. a couple
It
different
could have been.
times.
Oh, yeah, I see
Yes.
it. Oh, no,
Yeah.
only one. Okay, so Pickering, okay,
Good catch.
thank you. And
It'll be as,
I guess there
amended.
weren't names
As
under the
corrected.
school contacts.
okay, would you like?
On
to
the
add
low,
names?
under the municipal government contacts. It just has the general office numbers.
Yep, do you want a name listed for those?
I mean,
think? Um,
you could put the principals there as well.
okay,
That's what it was.
So I amend my motion to add as revised.
you amend your second one?
Yes, yes, sir.
Any more discussion? Motion made by, remade by Cynthia and re-seconded by Glenn to approve the list as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Nick, you have to sign that. I've already signed it.
and we'll probably revisit this, LEMP at some point. I think we're gonna look at adding a warm weather appendix to it at some point. That was something we were talking about earlier today with, on the training that I was on for these. But that's something that is not urgent at this point.
What do you mean, for heat emergency?
For heat
For hot weather
events,
emergency?
yeah, for hot weather events. I think they'll be a lot more relevant at some point in the future when we need some HVAC upgrades to some of our buildings, which are something that we'll talk about at a future meeting. But I have been talking with the emergency management people at BCRC for a couple of years about whether a heat component to this is relevant, which came out of that summer of 21 that was just so unworldly hot. And we had that very long route that made us think maybe we should talk about a cooling center or something like that being designated. But that's something for a future discussion that we can think about. Jamie and I will click on that at some.
We got some ideas, sir.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that we can talk about. There's definitely some revision in this emergency management space that we can undertake in a more systematic way, but not something we're gonna do this month. So, excellent.
So the next item on the agenda is the Cambridge Fire Coverage Contract. This is an annual contract where we agree to hire them for fire services to very specific locations in the Murray Hollow.
Black Hole Hollow.
Nope,
Murray
Black
Hollow.
Hole Hollow only.
So, I've looked through the contract. It looks pretty standard and everything's covered as usual. So I'll entertain a motion to approve it as presented. The relevant part is the amount for annual service and then the amount for calls, service calls and how it defines them. So,
Section 4.
yep. Do you have those amounts handy? Because I don't.
I have them.
them.
I make a motion to approve the agreement between the Village of Cambridge and the Town of Arlington to provide fire protection. The agreement dated December 1st, 2023, including the following provisions: the sum of $1,545.50 per year payable in advance, and $1,002.31 for each non-mutual aid call answered by the Cambridge company. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
So, second, sorry.
Any discussion?
I will stay quiet.
Did they have any calls last year?
No.
They've had one call to date this year. So we'll be getting billed for that shortly, I'm sure. As soon as we get the.
So
What did they have?
I'm not sure, I
So we're liable for $1,002.
Because Arlington Fire is supposed to be notified on
yeah,
any call that they respond to.
I will follow up with the clerk in Cambridge to ask about
Because if
that.
we're not being notified, then we're not paying.
Right, and I will contact the
That's the way
village
it's
clerk
always
about
been.
this.
Yep.
And do some research and get back to you like tomorrow. This is something that's very important. We should certainly get this agreement in place and then, but anything that happened before the agreement, if they didn't get us the agreement until recently, which they didn't, then we can contest things, and I certainly think we have a serious conversation.
Well, I know we had when we had the large wildland fire over there, we didn't request them to come back the second day. They offered to come back. So on the second day, I said, if you guys want to come back, that's entirely up to you. Then they tried to bill us for that. I'm like, absolutely not. You guys offered to come back. I'm not paying you to come back.
And
You
I think-
offered to come back.
I
and
think
that
in the
was-
next agreement, that's something we should have written into this, because I don't
I
like
mean,
this
the
like,
wild-
while this contract will work for now, going into next, we are due for another, if not renegotiation wholesale, a discussion between the two governments about this agreement into the future.
Yeah.
About
I mean,
the specifics of it, things like that, because that should be covered in agreement.
Right.
And the
specific-
guardrails,
Yeah.
guardrails. So I think let's go ahead and put this in place, but I would like to somehow in whatever appropriate paper or digital file to have, some revisions already started along the lines of what you're talking about, so that we don't lose this and all of a sudden it's a year from now and we have the same
I
agreement.
will make a physical visit to the clerk in Cambridge at some point, in the next, say, 3 months. And start the ball rolling, which I think for a conversation like this, it's gonna be best had in person.
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be better to get some sense of what we think the revisions might be.
Yeah.
Before you go.
Yeah, so maybe I'll draft something up for
And have Jamie or
Yeah, I'll work with Jamie on this.
we're gonna have the fire department in at our next meeting. I think this should be able to be seen by them so they can have
yeah, exactly,
input as well.
exactly. But
And
this
then-
is for
But there
next
are
year.
definitely revisions that I see.
But we
right
need to
off the
approve
bat.
this now.
Yes, we
We'll
need to
approve
be
this
covered
now,
for now.
But they need to look
But
at
there
it and
needs-
we need to
yes.
be working on it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very good.
Yes, Jamie, if we can like chat about this before the next
Yep,
meeting.
absolutely.
And there's also the immediate question of what they're gonna bill for and what they're not gonna bill for right now. That's another
If
question.
they've responded and did not notify us, which.
I know, but that
we did
isn't
not-
here.
Yeah, we'll-
Right, that's what
definitely-
it needs, that should.
Right, I know, but
Yep.
there's gonna have,
We'll have-
so, but
we'll have
let's
that
put that
conversation.
aside. Let's put that aside for now.
Yep.
Excellent.
So the motion to approve the fire coverage contract with Cambridge in the annual amount of $1,545.56 with a per call charge of $1,002.31. Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I signed what I needed to sign, Nick, and I think
Thank you.
Robin has to.
Yeah, that needs an attest.
And I think she recognizes my signature, that I would be there.
Perfect.
All right, Arlington Commons grant letter. That's
Yes,
the
mobile logo.
T-Mobile. Yep.
So we did for a, T-Mobile hometown grant.
As I understand it, T-Mobile is giving them a grant of some money for something.
They're writing a grant for this very broadly scoped grant program from the giant telecom company that
Yeah.
does have a footprint in town.
Sure.
And it's an up to $50,000 grant. They're looking to apply this to, facilities upgrades at the, former church hall.
Mhm.
And that would be entirely interior upgrades to pair with some exterior upgrades that they have a separate grant.
I don't feel it's very specific about what
It's,
they're gonna do.
it's a lot more, I don't have a lot of detail, and I think they're still figuring out in this very, very difficult cost environment, having a lot of specifics at this stage is a challenge. But what they have it dedicated to is the historic church hall.
But I don't even know what the amount is,
The amount is a request for $50,000.
over $50,000. Well, I can certainly believe that the properties need upgrading for sure. So, okay, I make a motion to approve the letter of support for the T-Mobile hometown grant to the Arlington Common.
Is there a second? Second. Motion is made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to approve the letter of support for the T-Mobile hometown grant. All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
This one, signature is there. So this is the TA 60.
Next item is under highways. Is the TA 60 form, which is for the authorization that we have certain minimum requirements we have to provide the state with, is how much money we're spending. I believe it's per mile, is that
Yeah, it's
correct?
more than $300 per mile, which
Yeah. And
Is it-
we're
well,
well over that. So, just a motion to approve the TA 60 form.
I make a motion to approve the TA 60 town highway plan for the town of Arlington for the calendar year 2024 as presented. Do we each have to sign?
yes, everyone needs to
Yes,
sign.
everybody does.
Second.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Jamie to approve the TA 60 form for the fiscal year 2024. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Okay, Town road and bridge
Finally,
standards.
the bridge standards.
Yeah.
I will need to sign that when you pass it back through. So the bridge standards are similar.
Have not changed since last year.
They haven't changed at all, and we all have to sign that as well, so. You want to make a motion for that and pass it around and.
Not sure if there's a number at the top, it might be easier to reference.
Is there a number at the top, the form number or?
In any case, just town road and bridge standards is perfectly fine.
Okay. I make a motion to adopt the town road and bridge standards for the municipality of Arlington, Vermont, date of adoption 3/25/2024. Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Cynthia and seconded by Jamie to approve the road and bridge standards or
Town road and
town
bridge
road and
standards.
bridge standards for 2024. All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
Aye.
aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. So in your packet,
I can
put
bring
that
up,
up on the,
yeah, I'll put that up on the.
Good. There is a motion on the board, involving the property in question, over near the park for the construction of, the sidewalk.
Did we receive some information relevant to this, between the time we had our last meeting?
Yes, but it does not change the need for this motion.
Okay,
And I'm happy to discuss that.
that's fine. I just needed to.
Yeah. To hit our timelines, this motion does need to be made.
Okay, I move to initiate proceedings pursuant to 19 VSA Chapter 7 to alter Vermont Route 7A at 4009 Vermont Route 7A, V-Trans Project STP BP 17 parentheses 2 Arlington Sidewalk, and to hold a site inspection and public hearing pursuant to 19 VSA 709 at 6:30 PM Monday, May 6, 2024, and issue the public notice of the same.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to approve the motion on the screen. All those, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We have the town highway foreman in. And do you have anything for open session we want to just cover where we are with things?
Ask Mother Nature to be nice to us the rest of the year.
I can put in the request, but I'm not sure it'll be listened to.
Mud season's pretty much, well, other than what little bit of mud we're gonna get out of this, mud season's
Pretty
over.
much over with.
Yeah.
There wasn't much frost.
No.
In the sense that the frost is already out of the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
If it ever was in
I mean, it could
there.
still be muddy.
We had
Yeah.
two very small spots. One we went over with the grader just once that rutted up, and then we had, one spot on the top of Hollow Earth that we put a half load of gravel in. So-
Which the person called us and said, thank you very much, and called with a bunch of joy. So,
I mean, other than that, I couldn't ask for a nicer mud season, so.
Yeah, for sure.
if everyone's like this, then.
The grader's been out on every road, not aggressively, just to try to smooth it out a little bit. And then Mother Nature threw this white stuff at us, so that's gonna have to be on hold for a week or so until things dry out again.
Try out a little bit.
Yep. Other than that, we've been brush hogging, hauling gravel, getting ready. Grading and.
I'll say an open session that, I don't know if you got my text
I
earlier
did,
today.
thank you.
That was one of a couple that I had. That's just the
Mhm.
one that
I had a
I decided to
couple-
pass it on you.
We had a couple.
Multiple people approached me or texted me or called me and, expressed their, happiness with the town crew and the storm over the weekend. How long they were out and how well they did with cleaning up the roads, and then their attention to detail, just this morning, cleaning up stuff and intersections and whatnot. And I just kind of wanted to say that in open session. 'Cause
Very good.
we don't ever hear the good stuff.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
Right.
so.
Dare I say, this might have been the most positive storm we've ever had, approximately, certainly in the last 4 years, so.
Yep. It's always good to hear, right, Mark?
It is, it's not bad.
Thank you.
Sorry, I could have done without the snow for the weekend and got a little sleep, but other than that, it was fun.
I'm sure it won't be too long.
It's gonna be like gone by Thursday afternoon there.
Yeah.
We'll watch the river.
You're going down to Battenkill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If we don't have to enact the high water policy.
It's melting rapidly.
Put the bulletin
yeah,
board
no,
materials up
tomorrow's supposed to
already.
be 50. It's melting as fast from the bottom as it is, or
Oh,
faster.
Because the
than it
ground
is.
was so
The
warm,
ground, the ground was
Such a
warm.
mess
and the
underneath.
sun is so strong.
By Sunday afternoon, we were cleaning sidewalks. And we had to use the excavator for a lot of it because it was so dense. You
Oh,
couldn't,
yeah.
you just couldn't do anything with it.
Well, it rained on top of the snow.
Oh, yeah, it rained in the snow, and plus,
In the middle of it.
you know, as you're plowing the road beside the sidewalk, you get all that slush
Yep.
and salt
Yep.
that accumulates on top of the snow that's already there, and it
Yep.
makes it even that much denser.
I can attest to
So
that.
Yep, me too.
we spent 7 hours.
Yeah.
Just working on sidewalks, but
Yeah.
it came out pretty good and,
Yep.
and,
Very good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always tough on man and machine when you have that kind of a spring storm.
Other than that, we didn't have.
We didn't
We
have
really
any
We
big
didn't lose
breakdown.
power. I mean,
We had two
I
little small
was
breakdowns, but
just glad about
Yeah.
not losing
kept right on
power.
going, so.
There were places that were out of power over in the Albany area. for-
Yep.
Still up.
Still are.
Yeah, they're still
They
up.
had
Yeah.
more ice than we did. They
Yeah.
had a lot of
Yeah.
ice, I think.
They were just in that,
Somebody said
I
that
saw.
Rupert got slammed with snow.
The areas due west of Rupert got hit really, really hard.
Okay.
Like they got 2 feet of snow in some places out in that area.
We plowed 9 on Saturday, we plowed another 9 Sunday.
I had easily.
Sunday snow.
Completely
Sunday-
different.
Completely different snow.
No,
Biggest snow. we've
wet
seen
and
years.
packy on Saturday and dry and fluffy on Sunday.
With thick, slushy, heavy stuff under.
If you didn't move it first, if you didn't move it Saturday, you were,
You're not to walk on yesterday, but this morning you're walking right on top of it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but thank you for your efforts. That was always a challenge to do that. So. Do you have anything on your town administrator report next?
I'll just hit some quick highlights for the people watching at home. We did the local emergency plan update that we, just approved. Some work on the MERP mini grant as well as reviewing the MERP large grant and communication about that. Bunch of community work, including solid waste meeting, BCRC, touring the community house renovation, which I told Tim Williams that I would call out specifically, that now that the renovation is done, that is a very helpful and useful community space to be having right next door. And then Mark and I had a very long meeting with V-Trans, and we accomplished a lot in that meeting. So I very much feel like we're on the same page with the various powers that be. So that's the summary of the report for the people at home. But I don't have anything else beyond that, unless there are any questions.
Bill, have
I
any-
got through it, I know any questions.
Excellent. Otherwise,
Uh,
let's do warrants.
yeah, I was gonna say, let's do the warrants and orders, and then go into executive session. We're not likely to make any decisions, I don't believe.
We won't be making any statements.
I make a motion to approve check warrant report number WD6 being the regular operational unpaid invoices for the water department. Key components are MSK engineer for, I would think might be the last payment on
Last
the lead
payment on the
line
lead line study.
project, says 13,428, and we're gonna be getting some of that back?
All of that, or
All of that.
90% of that, I think, it's
From the
either,
federal-
it's either,
Yeah.
it's either 100 or 90%.
So we'll be getting a chunk of that back, from the federal government. So, that's the most significant cost here, the total being $15,382.02. Motion to approve.
second.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Jamie to approve check warrant report WD6 in the total amount of $15,382.02. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I'm gonna be dealing with check warrant report. It just says dot number 6.
Yeah, WD start or check warrant report 6.
Check warrant report number 6 for the operational expenses, the general fund of the town of Arlington. Key components are the Bennington County Regional Commission, the solid waste payment,
Solid waste payment.
Green Mountain Power, MSK engineers for the bridge study. I hope they actually are like making progress on that. Gravel from Peckham and so forth. Motion to approve a total of $28,055.83.
Second.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Jamie to approve check warrant report 6. The total amount of $28,055.83. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we will need a motion to establish the reason for the executive session as a personnel and legal matter.
I make a motion that premature discussion of personnel and legal issues would cause the municipality to suffer substantial disadvantage.
Second.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to establish the reason for the executive session as a personnel and legal matter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And now a motion to enter into executive session for said reasons.
I make a further motion to enter into executive session for discussion of said personnel and legal issues and to allow town administrator Nick Zayas to remain in the room. Is Mark
And Mark.
Robinson, town highway crew chief, also to remain in the room.
Motion made by Cynthia and seconded by Glenn to enter into executive session. And allow town administrator Les and road foreman Mark Robinson to stay in the room. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Recording stopped.
We are in executive session. We don't even have to leave the room, right?
Let me take
Or should
everyone
we
to
lock
the
it
waiting
there?
room. If you